The new n8n AI Workflow Builder allows you to create complete automations and AI agents with just a single prompt. It built me this expense tracker AI agent. Here is how it works. Just take a photo of a receipt, record a voice note, or send a simple text. The AI agent extracts and categorizes the expense and saves it to a Google Sheet. This tells you exactly how much you spend each month, and it shows you the total expense over a year. Here is why this is insane. Building an AI agent like this would normally take 5 to 20 hours. You're planning the structure, searching for the correct modules, debugging errors, reading technical documentations. But with this n8n Workflow Builder, it was done in under 15 minutes. Here is what most do wrong. You can't just type, build me an expense tracker. That won't work. To let AI build you a functioning workflow, you need this specific 5-part prompt structure that I'm going to reveal in this video. So I'll show you exactly and step by step how to build this AI expense tracker from just one prompt, even if you've never built something like that before. If you want to skip the setup and grab my pre-built AI agent template for this expense tracker, just click the second link in the description below this video. And by the way, I also built a pro version of it that extracts expenses from any email you forward to it, even if the invoice is a PDF attachment. Stick around till the end, because I'll also show you exactly how much this AI expense tracker costs you to run. The first step you need is to click on n8n.io. If you don't already have an account, click on Get Started for free and sign up for a free 14-day trial. Once you're logged in, you need to go in your dashboard to the admin panel, and then you need to check if you have the latest version of n8n installed. So click on the drop-down and then select latest stable, and then click on save changes. Now once this is turning green, the update is finished, we can go back to dashboard, click on open instance. Here we click on create workflow, and now you will see this workflow builder, and there you click, and this is where we can now put in our prompt. And we will find this prompt here in this document. So let's scroll down. Here I have given you the prompt template. It's a 5-part structure where we go through different things that you need to define before you submit the prompt. So the workflow builder knows exactly what type of process you want to build and what tools it should integrate. First, I define what I want. Create a Telegram expense tracking bot with the following structure. Part 1 is the trigger. That's what turns the automation on and starts the process. A Telegram trigger, so Telegram is this messaging app that receives a text, a voice, and an image message. So I can send a receipt of the expense as an image, as a voice note, or just as a text. Part number 2, the input handling. So how should the input be processed? So route based on message type. So I have 3 different inputs, right? So I need to have, if there is a photo, it needs to download and analyze the photo with OpenAI Vision. So I already defined the tool that it should use to extract the expense amount from the photo receipt. If it's a voice note I leave, it needs to download and transcribe this with the AI tool that can transcribe voice messages. If it's text, just pass it directly. There's no transformation required. Data processing. I want any of these messages to go into an AI agent node that should then extract the amount, like from any of these inputs, from the photo, from the voice note, from the text, the amount of the expense, the description, like what type of expense is it? Like, is it a payment for fuel for my car, right? Or getting a haircut, or is it a business expense? And then it should categorize it based on a specific categories that I want expenses to be listed in. So I have health, I have food, I have personal expenses, and so on, work-related expenses. Then it should have a date, right? The date of the expense, and that's it. And then I give it the categories. So these are the categories that should be categorized. Next come processing rules. This is where I need to define, is there anything else that needs to be done so that a satisfying output can be achieved. So in other words, here what I need to do is I want to convert the date of this expense to a month with abbreviation. So like only 3-letter words for any month. Because then I can create a Google Sheet that has like these sheet names. So each sheet is one of these months. And then automatically my AI agent system can sort the expense into the correct month. Automatically. That's what I want. So the output, I define, okay, what is the output? Okay, it should just add this expense to a Google Sheet with this dynamic name based on a month, right? That comes from here. And it should save those date, description, amount, and category. Now comes a really crucial part. It should use built-in nodes, like these are the building blocks, they are called nodes in n8n, whenever possible. So n8n gives you like 500 integration with different tools. For example, Telegram, the messaging app, has a direct integration. I don't need to set up a custom integration. That's why I defined that it should always try to find the integrated nodes and building blocks. And only if it couldn't find them, it should use the HTTP request nodes, like that's a universal building block that allows it to connect any other tool that doesn't have a direct integration. Now let's grab this prompt, copy it. And here you see, if you click on Build with AI, there you can paste the prompt. And now there is a limitation. There's a 1,000 character limit. So I go to a place like word counter. If your prompt is too long, sure, you can submit several prompts, but we want to build it in one prompt. So there, what I want to remove is a few words that may not be required. For example, here, I can remove processing, and then it should maybe be below 1,000. Let's check again. Not yet. Then I could remove those dashes, or I can remove this here, input, the processing. So let's try again here. Okay, almost there. Now we will just remove those columns. Check. Yeah, and now it's there. And now we can click on submit. And now it's going to read this prompt and try to build the workflow. And now you see it's already found a few nodes. And now it just needs to connect them in the right order, which it will do next, as you see here. So there already lists me out the steps for my setup. So I need to here click on that, for example, and here I need to select a model from the list. But first, I would need to connect here this account. So this might also be listed, connect your OpenAI account. And here click on create new credential. And then you need to put in your API key from OpenAI. Now, if you don't have this already, let's go to my sheet. And here go to platform.openai.com. And there you click on sign in or sign up or login. And I go to dashboard, API keys, create a new secret key. Doesn't really matter what the name is, create key. Copy the key, paste it in here, click save. And then I need to select the model. I find this one, ChatGPT 4o, the best for analyzing images, because in our goal is to get the specific information. See, it already entered the task, like what it should do. So let's go back first. But now let's start at the beginning, because this is the input. And then we see, okay, is the automation working, or are there other steps to set up? But first, you always need to connect the accounts of the different modules. Here we have Telegram. Okay, how do you connect Telegram? Well, really simple. You click on create a new credential, and then you need an access token. To get an access token, you first need a Telegram account. Now you can set up one for free if you don't already have it by going to this website. Download it to your phone, but also to your computer, because this makes it a bit easier to set up in parallel with the workflow. And then we open Telegram, and then you search for bot father and select this one. This is where you manage your Telegram account. And there I can type in the slash, and then I have options. I want to have a new bot. Okay, what's the new bot? It's just a demo AI expense tracker. Okay, and then we need the same again and attach the word bot, and then I get my access token. Good. I just put the same name here, demo expense tracker. Click save. I can already test it. So I click on the bot link here. I click on start, and if I click execute, okay, it sees it has successfully executed, but there's also a problem in the workflow because there's a red triangle. Whenever there's a red triangle, you need to fix this first before you can run it. So what we will do, we will connect the Google Sheet. I've already prepared one for you here. So that's our expense tracking sheet. Click on make a copy. And there you just need to give it a name. Demo, for example, in my case. Now let's go back here. Before you can select the Google Sheet, you need to connect your Google account. Now here, click on sign in with Google. And then select the same account where this Google Sheet is in. And then once it's successful, good, all green. And now we can select it. We go by ID from list. And then it should load it, correct? Now here we leave it as it is. Now this should solve a problem. And now we should be able to trigger the Telegram note. So for example, I could type in here, haircut. So I give any expense, $24. And then it should receive it here. And we see it here is my text message. It receives the message, so it's connected. And now if I trigger this, we see it's automatically filtered through text because it's a text message, so it has recognized this. This is good. Now let's go to expense tracker. And there is, basically what it should do, right? It should extract the amount and categorize it, and along with the date, give me the output. So let's see. And it even has the current date in there. Good. So if I execute it, I should receive 4 things: the amount, the description. Okay, what happened here is, okay, where is the input, right? So that's why I need to give it the input, but that's easy to fix. So I just need to drag in here, input, and the input is just this, right? And then when I execute it, it should give me the correct information, the amount, the haircut. Categorized haircut as health because I didn't give it another category. So I would, for example, add personal. And that's it. So maybe it can now put it into personal. Yes, you see, it puts it into personal. It also gives me the date. Now I could say, okay, I want to have the date in ISO format, but without time. Because I don't want to have the time attached. I don't need this, right? I don't need the date of the expense. And then it gives me that. And that works for me. So now at least the output is good. And here you also see it's already the chat model was connected. So if it's not, you just also select the OpenAI account. And this is, you can select a different model, but GPT-4M1 Mini was automatically selected by this AI builder. So that's good. Now let's continue here and see what happens. If I execute this, it gives me nothing here, right? It's just the same as this, but it should give me and return me one of these months because this is what I need to automatically save it in the Google Sheet. So what do I do here? Well, I know, okay, maybe it didn't match this properly. So I just drag this in here and see what happens. Okay, maybe let's remove this. So now what I will do is I will go to my AI bot, right? And say, there is an error in the convert date to month node. Please fix it. Click on submit. See, it told me it has fixed it. I click execute it. And now I see it gives me the month, right? October, which is perfect. This is what I need. So it fixed it. Now let's complete the setup step for the Google Sheet. I will minimize that. Now here, we've already selected that. Now you see the month already comes from this one, from the convert date to month node. Now what we want to do right away, we want to have append row in sheet as operation. And now we just need to match those 4 values. We don't need total sum. We need to just drag and drop those values from here into the right field, amount, description, and comes the category. Then we need to select here the data location on the sheet. Header is number 12, because here in the sheet you see when I go to one of these months, the header is this. So this is where it should start running the expenses. This is just the pie chart for this one. So that's why we put it into 12, because this is number 12. Now I click on execute step. And here you see it wrote the value in here. Perfect. It appears in the total sum and percentages. And if I go to total, it will also appear here under October. Good. So the entire sheet works. So now we have validated the entire process works for text. And we know everything after that is working. The only two things we need to check is the photo and the voice transcription. What I want to do, you see here, these nodes with those globes here, these are the HTTP request nodes. But I told it in the prompt, right, it should only use those if it can't find built-in nodes. So what I will always try to do first is I try to do, okay, check if you can find a built-in node instead of the HTTP request node for downloading the photo from Telegram. So I go through HTTP request node and let it check, okay, isn't there any built-in integration, right? Because that will make the setup easier for me. Sure, I could also set it up like that, but that would be more technical. I would need to have more back and forth messaging. And now you see what happened. It found two direct integration nodes. It even did it for both of them, like for the photo and for the voice node for Telegram. So it no longer needs these two other nodes. And you see it even removed those HTTP request nodes. It's not always going to happen. Sometimes you need an HTTP request node, and it's no problem to set it up. But I prefer direct integrations. And now we can start this setup process, because now let's just send a picture of a receipt. So I took a picture of something I've purchased here, this thing, and I just send it to my Telegram bot. And I can do this on my phone. And then I trigger it again here. And now it should go to photo, as you saw here. And now I need to just select the bot I have connected, which was this one, demo expense tracker, as you see here. We've connected it already, and you only need to do it once. And now let's go in there, and if I trigger it, you see it gets the image. And now here, analyze with photo. And now here, what I need to change is I need to change the input type to binary file. So that's the only manual switch I would need to make. Because here I see data, and that's what they call a binary file. And the input data field name is binary file. Now I click on execute. Now it should extract the text from it here. And then in the next step, let's go in here. Okay, here we see the input, right? We only have the input when it's coming as a text message. But what if it's just a analyze photo message? So we'll just drag it in here. See if I click on execute step. You see, it got it right. Even it shows undefined, doesn't matter, right? It got it correctly. So it's 335.88. Yes. It's Dextro Energy Liquid Gel Orange. Yes. And it's categorized in health. So it's good. And now I can trigger this from here. And now it should save it for me here. Okay, now we have an error. Let's go in here. Okay, we need to just click on refresh, remove column. Good. Let's try again now. Yes, you see now. And the graphic was updated. Perfect. Next, we need to set up the voice part, which is really simple. First, let's leave a voice note with an expense. Yesterday, I was putting fuel in my car and it cost me $50. Now I trigger this again. When I execute it, it should go to voice. Yes, here. Here select the same bot, demo expense tracker. Now it gets me the voice file. Good. And now it just transcribes it. This is already set up correct data. So here you see also data field. Now it will give me the text here. Great. And now I need to match it. So I will just add it here. Transcribe with voice. Put it in here and then let's see what happens. Fuel for car yesterday. So it got it correct. Yesterday was 23. Yesterday was 23rd. Category transport, fuel for car 50. Perfect. Now let's see. Click on execute. Okay, now we see a small mistake happened. So let's go in there and you see, okay, it always thinks we have a new column because we need to move this here one to the bottom because it assumes this is a new column name. So let's start at number 13 here and then it should no longer happen. And then I need to update this to number 13. So by the time you get this will already be updated. So let's go back, let's click on it. You see it now put fuel for car in here. And then updated everything. Let's click save. And now everything should work. So I would do a final test run. I will switch this to active. And then I will go to executions. And while I'm doing it, I will test all of these three again. So I will go, okay, the first one I want to test is the text. I have bought groceries for $37 2 days ago. Let's see, bought groceries, food, perfect. Next, we want to test the vision again. So we'll select an invoice I have somewhere. Here I have one. Send it. And then you see, yes, that was the correct invoice. Canva subscription free and work. Good. Finally is a voice note. 1 week ago, I was buying a parking ticket. It cost me $7.50. Okay, it's working. Good. And yes, perfect. Exactly 7 days ago, parking ticket transport. And with that, we have built a complete expense tracker. Let's briefly talk about how much it costs you to track and record your expenses if you use a mix between voices, images, and text. It may cost you maybe 30 cents to run this. If you have 500 expenses, which is quite a lot to have in a month, usually I have less than 100 personal expenses to track, then it still will cost you less than $2. So you see how cheap this workflow actually is. And even if you have like 1,000 expenses, if you would use this for a business, for example, it still just costs you on average somewhat around $3. If you want to see more videos like this where I show you how to build these highly effective AI agents and automations, even as a total beginner, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos.